All right, welcome you guys. Oh, here comes somebody else. Yay. All right, so we are going to jump right in tonight. I am so excited that you guys are here for our Healthy Habits Challenge, aka Squats and Shots. So can I just get a really quick thumbs up? You can hear me, you can see me little, and you can see the screen big, right? Okay, awesome. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. So I know that people have questions. So I just want to clear up a few things really quick. We're going to dive in. I'm most excited to share with you guys tonight about the mindset piece of the habits. Like that is what I'm super passionate about. And just know, like anything in life, perfection is unrealistic. Progress is really what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and throw out the idea that we're going to do these new habits perfectly, because that's not realistic. But if we can look at the next 21 days and go, wow, I have 21 full days to focus on becoming my best self and, making my future self, making life a little easier, a little better for my future self, like that's going to be a great place to start just with our mindset. Okay, so before we jump in, can I get a thumbs up if you know what I mean by your PDF printout? Do you guys know what I mean by that? Awesome. So we're going to go through a little housekeeping. I just want to make sure that you all know where to go to get all the things you need. I apologize. Okay, there's some crazy stuff going on in my house, and I'm just going to stay really focused. That was just to set the stage for tonight. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. Well, first I was going to tell you guys. So we are, today is technically day one, and I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to do my healthy habits with you guys tonight. If you haven't done yours, I'm going to invite you to join me. So these should not be things that are like big to-dos on your list. So if you took, for example, squats and shots, maybe you're going to do 30 squats a day and take a green shot. That is something that might take you 3 minutes total from start to finish, right? So that is something that we can adopt. It can become part of our, like we can really have that ingrained into who we are. Okay, here comes Leslie back in. Okay, so just to go over some housekeeping things. So we have means of communication. We have the Facebook group, emails, and I will be sending you guys a text just to make sure that we are on the same page. Number two thing is your supplies. So if you haven't ordered your greens, it's not too late. If you're open to that, or you still have questions about that, you're like, I don't know, greens sound really scary. I'm happy to share my personal experience, and we can kind of open up the floor about that a little bit later. The idea is just to simplify your life. So it's really hard to get 25 different fruits and vegetables in your diet. It's really hard to get gut health and vegan collagen and all these things without having like making a huge mess of your kitchen and eating tons and tons of different things to get those. So it's really easy to have a supplement. I've been in this industry forever, and it's really hard to find one that doesn't have fake chemicals, artificial sweeteners, like all the junk. And so that's why I love this and recommend it, but it's not mandatory. I also want to make sure that you guys have your information. So you have your PDF workbook and you filled out the form. So we're all on the same page with all of that. And then next I'm going to go over our bonuses and our prizes, but I just want to hang here really quick and see, does anybody have any questions about this housekeeping stuff? We all know where to go and what to find. Okay, awesome. Hi, Swati, welcome. All right, you guys should know. Hello.
Hi, Joanne.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so here is the bonus, and this is open to everybody who is participating. I teach fitness classes. They are virtual. So they are live virtual. So I will say, good morning, Tammy. And Birdie's actually in my classes, so she knows. We show up, she sees me, she sees my dog. So we have that built-in accountability right there. And then the guesswork is taken out for you. You're not having to wonder, what should I do? What weights should I use? How can I, change up from what I did yesterday? A lot of times we get into a rut. So if this would benefit you, I am offering 1 month at 50% off. It's a really awesome deal for anybody who's looking for a fitness home. And if you can see here my schedule, after the call tonight, I will share everything, including links to learn more and things like that. Okay, and then the prizes, I'm really excited about this. I don't know if you guys have seen, but on social media, I've kind of been dropping little hints. For about 6 months, I've been working on something that I'm so, so excited about. And it's a full, it's the ability for me to help you create a full lifestyle transformation. 21 days is a great place to start. But when we're looking at like actually really creating the life that we love, it's going to take a little bit longer than that. So I am creating this one-on-one coaching program, and I will be launching that in March, and I have 5 spots available, and I know they're going to go quick, but I would love to offer for you guys prizes. And the top 3 winners will get $200 off, $150 off, and then $125 off. And here is how you can be entered to win. So you guys are already doing the right thing here because you're on the call. Yay. So you're going to watch both calls. We have one at the beginning of our program and then one at the end. You can also do the replay. At the end of today's call, I will share the word that you will want to write down when you tell me that, hey, I watched the replay, here's the word that you shared at the end. And then you're also just going to fill in the check-ins. So within our Facebook group, not every day, but every few days, I'll be saying like, how did it go? How did day 1 go? How did day 4 go? And it's just, you will just pop in and say, did it, done, or gosh, I missed yesterday, but I'm right back on track or whatever. So I'm not rewarding the actual, how much you did. If one person did more than the other, that's not it. It's just helping you to get into that routine of establishing that habit. Does that make sense? We're good on that? Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the really cool stuff. And this is what I'm most excited to share. So just kind of keep an open mind. We will get into the step-by-step in a few minutes. But habits are the key to living a healthy lifestyle. People always want to know, like, tell me the secret. Like, what is it? And it is one word, and that is habits. But it's a lot of times really like, well, how do you establish a habit? Like, it kind of seems like a good concept or, a good thing, but like, what do I do? So that's what we're doing. We're learning the strategies so that in the future, when we want to establish another new habit, we know like, oh, X, Y, and Z, I'm going to believe first that I'm going to go through all these steps, and I'm going to, use these different strategies to adopt this new habit. And it's all helping you become that future best version of you. I'm going to read this really quick. So you know where to go, but you're not sure how to get there. And the first step is to identify who you want to become, and then get into action, and then repeat that action consistently over time. Let it become who you are, not just what you do sometimes. So this is what I get a lot. I've been in the fitness coaching world for 25 years, and I often hear this. Well, when I'm being good, I eat this. When I'm being good, I go to the gym. But it's like, that's not what concerns me. I want to know, what do you do every day? It doesn't matter about what your feelings towards it. If you are on a diet or you're on a plan or whatever, that doesn't matter. What matters is the compound effect of what you actually do day in and day out, not just what you do sometimes, but what you do all the time. So the more healthy habits you have, the easier it is to create your dream life. So small actions, when repeated, have the power to shift your entire life. So that is worth getting really excited about. So steps to adopting habits. So the first step is to have gratitude for where you are right now. And we're going to go into each of these just a little bit deeper. So I'm just going to read these off. Number 2 is a belief that change is possible for you. Number 3 is to get a plan. Number 4 is to focus on the activity, not the results. And then number 5 is to keep going. And how do you know when you have arrived? It's when your habits are now part of your identity. So just a deep dive into that just a little bit more, gratitude for where you are. So I don't know if you guys have heard this quote. I'm sure you've heard some version of this quote before, but be thankful for what you have and you will end up having more. But if you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never have enough. And I really think, like, let that sink in. I had a friend in high school, I'm not going to name any names because some people on the call might actually know her. But she always would be like, I have no money and I have no gas. Like, I can't go out. I can't, like, there's just, and she would focus on the not enough and the never enough and the I don't have and the lack of, and it actually created for her less, like it actually created the lack of, instead of being like, I don't have money and I don't have gas, but hey, I could walk, or I could, figure out how to get a job. Like, there's always that way to shift that mindset. And it's super, super powerful when you learn how to do that. And when you catch yourself in that negative feedback loop and it's like, wait, I'm doing it again. Let's stop and let's shift that mindset. So the first way to have more gratitude is to celebrate the success that you already have. Like, what are you proud of right now? I know in our fitness classes, I say that like, it's tough what we're doing right now. It's hard. You can't breathe and you're sweaty and you want to stop and you're thirsty and all the things, but what could you be grateful for right now? Well, I have a body that moves and I have a heart that beats, and this is amazing. I have time in my schedule built in for me and for taking care of myself. Like, those are all really cool successes that you could be really, really grateful for in that moment. And what that then does is it creates more opportunity for more things that you want in your life. True gratitude creates a positive attitude. Guys, make sure you're muted. I can't see everybody to make sure. Yeah, there we go. Good. And then shifting your attention away from what you lack and shifting your attention to what you already have. And it actually, when you are in that, that positive mindset, you're actually more likely to take action towards achieving your goals than if you're in that, what's the opposite of abundance mindset? You know what I'm talking about, the lack mindset, right? The other thing that this does is when you recognize your past successes, like, look, I showed up to the gym 3 days this week. That's amazing. What that does is actually boost your self-confidence. And you're like, look at me, like I did what I said I'm going to do. And then that makes you show up even bigger next time. The next step there is believing that change is possible for you. So a lot of times we have self-imposed, sorry guys. Sorry, I apologize. So a lot of times we have self-imposed limits that actually keep us from enjoying our success or noticing that we even are having success and from sustaining that success. So a lot of times we have this unconscious belief that we're not worth it, or we don't deserve the happiness, the success, the fitness, the health. And then a lot of times we self-sabotage. Can I see a show of hands if any of you have ever done any of these or experienced any of these before? Yeah, right. This is a safe space, so you can share. There's no judgment here. I mean, we all do it. We are human. A lot of times, this is really interesting. I've done a lot of reading and researching on this before, but there is this. I'm going to forget the term, but there's this idea that when you it's self-dissonance, I believe is what it's called. It's when you have this ingrained belief about yourself, and then you actually contradict that by making progress. So for example, let's use the weight example. So in my 20s, I used to weigh X. Now that I'm in my 40s, it's impossible to weigh that. So when you get close to seeing that, you're like, oh no, this cannot be true. I have this ingrained belief that is too hard. It was, I was much younger and it was much easier back then. So when you get close, then you start to have this self-doubt that creeps in, this negative self-talk. You believe you're not worth it. You believe it's not possible. And then you actually start doing things to self-sabotage your progress, right? So it's really, really important to shift those patterns to empowering thoughts. And so what I don't like and what I don't recommend is fake it till you make it. Like, I am the best version of myself. I am, a fast runner. I am these things that you actually don't believe, but you're telling yourself and you're trying to make yourself believe it. I actually don't believe in that, because I have, like, integrity is one of my top values. And when I feel like I'm not in alignment with what I'm saying and what I'm believing, then it actually backfires. But what you can say is, I am becoming a runner. I am learning to love my body. I am on a mission to be my healthiest self. It puts it in like real time. And it is true. What's happening is true. And you're just stating the future. What's going to happen is, I am becoming my best self. I am becoming a runner. I'm learning to love my body. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Okay, the next one is what we're going to get into tonight, which is your plan. So making a plan of action is what we're doing in this challenge, identifying which habits you can adopt and really integrate into your life. We want to make those SMART goals. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but they're specific, they're measurable, they're actionable, they're realistic, and they're time bound. And so avoid having one of your habits be, I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to get more fit. Like, those are things that sound good, but they're really broad, and you would not be able to check that off a list at the end of the day. Whereas if you said, I'm going to take my green shot and do 30 squats today, you can check, and you are done, and you can be proud of that, the fact that you did it, you showed up, right? So making sure that we are really keeping things simple and actionable and those kind of things. And then what we get to do is get into activity and celebrate the activity. Get rid of that mindset of like the outcome and the results, because you have no direct control over the number on the scale or other things that you wish, like those are what the big outcomes that you want, but you have no direct control over that. What you have control over is how you spend your time during the day that you have, right? So if you say, I'm going to do 30 squats and I'm going to take my green shot, you can focus on that. You can check it off a list. It can be really empowering because you're doing what you said you were going to do, and just let go of the results. The results will come, but only after the consistency with everything else. And then you get to step into your new identity. So really focusing on who you are becoming and starting to act like that person. What would the person who is a runner do? She would make time to run. There's just, that would be part of like her values, and there would be nothing in her mind that would be like, that would get in the way of that. If something does, then she just reverts and makes a new plan. Okay, so here is, if you guys want to grab your workbooks and open up to that first page that says get clear on your why. Who do you want to become and how do you want to feel? And one of the things that I recommend doing is making your statement be, I am a woman who, or I am a person who, or I am the type of person who, and then you can kind of fill in that blank. So mine is, I am a woman who values her health and makes time for fitness and nutrition. So it's something that you can, like, it doesn't actually talk about the specific things you're going to do. It's this broad thing that you can repeat as an affirmation over and over and over again, so that you're repeating that to your brain. I am a woman who values your health and makes time for fitness and nutrition. So this is, I would recommend taking some time to really go over this and your why, and just get super clear on that. Okay, step 2, and I will be sort of spoon feeding you guys this information as we go through the 21 days. Right now, you're focusing on what are your 2 habits and why. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you did your habits today. If not, there's still time tonight. Maybe you start tomorrow. We have 21 days together. And over those 21 days, these are some of the strategies we're going to adopt. So the first one we're going to talk about is called habit stacking. I like to think about habit stacking with something very simple. And I don't really know anyone who doesn't brush her teeth. Do you guys know anybody who doesn't brush their teeth? I hope, I hope we all know people who brush their teeth. So if you wake up in the morning, no matter what you do. So for example, my husband got up, I had to drive him to the airport at like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was a day that I didn't have to be up, but I roll out of bed, I brush my teeth. There's nothing like even in that sleepy state. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here. I'm not going to not brush my, it's just my habit. It's what I do. So if you can think of some habits like that you do that are built into your day that you would do if you were on vacation, if you had family in town, if your kids were homesick, you're still probably going to brush your teeth. If you could think of some of those habits that you have during the day and stack 1 or 2 of your new habits you're trying to adopt with that one that's sort of a non-negotiable, that is going to really set you up for success. So a couple of examples that are on this slide are like, you want to start your day with gratitude, journaling gratitude, and you already start your day with a cup of coffee, combine those 2. So have your cup of coffee, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. It's simple, doesn't take a lot of time. You're already making your coffee. A lot of times I have people do like push go on the coffee maker, do their squats. You know, if they're doing gratitude, journal their gratitude, enjoy their coffee. So that's stuff that you're already currently doing. I also have friends who do when they're emptying the dishwasher or doing the laundry or even in their shower. Like these are things that you just do throughout your day. Could you stack a new habit that you're trying to adopt with something that you've already got going on in your life? Other things, I'm sure you guys have heard this before, when you want to exercise more, but you get home and you're like on the couch. So instead you take off your workout shoes or work shoes and put on your workout clothes. And that's just sort of like stacking those 2 things together. The next one is to change your environment. So I'm sure you guys have heard, like when you think about, okay, we're going to do a 30-day cleanse, or we're going to, focus on healthy eating. Let's get the junk out and fill our pantry and our fridge with healthy eats, right? So it's making it super easy for yourself. You open up the fridge, you open up the pantry, the things that are there are what you're going to be fueling your body with. So you're like limiting those distractions and you're limiting those temptations, and you're just setting yourself up for success. Same thing with this. So changing your environment. I have a lot of friends who, with their Arbonne supplies, they have like a whole, cupboard or little like drawer that is dedicated to their little stick packs. And so when they wake up in the morning, they go and brush their teeth and wash their face and then pull out their drawer and there's their greens pack and maybe their fizz, and they have that. It's just part of their environment. So you're really setting yourself up for success. Same with the fitness. So if you can put your workout shoes or lay your workout clothes out the night before, you're just making it easier on yourself, your future self, to be able to adopt some of these things. I love the water bottles that say like, you got this, keep going. It's a whole gallon and it's like throughout the day, you're visually seeing that water go down and it's giving you some empowerment back. That's actually a way to change your environment, is get yourself a water bottle that's actually going to make you want to drink the water. And then, sticky notes for affirmations all over your bathroom mirror. Like that is just in your face. Like you're really setting yourself up for success. Okay, step 4 is to grow the appeal. And so we're going to focus on, in the first few days, really that habit stacking. Then we'll talk about changing the environment. The next one that comes is the grow the appeal. And so this one you might already do naturally. So I don't know about you, but I love personal development. I love to learn. I love to grow my mindset. But I don't have time to sit, or I don't make time, I should say, to sit and read a book. Like it's just not the stage of life that I'm in. I look forward to that stage of life. It's coming, but it's not right now. But what I do is I walk the dog and I drive all over God's green earth with my kids, and I cook and I do laundry. And so while I'm doing those things, I've got my AirPods in and I'm listening to positive information going into my brain. And when positive information goes in, positive information comes out. So that's one, if you like. So here, like sipping on a cup of tea while you read your book. If you want to exercise more, get some new cute clothes. If you want to go to bed by 10, turn off your electronics. So these are just things that are like helping you enjoy the process. And what I have found is that if you enjoy the process, you're much more likely to stick with something and make it be an actual lifestyle change rather than just a quick fix. Number 5 is to substitute a habit. So again, this we're going to focus on more on our second call. And step 5 and step 6, we're going to focus on there. But what we're basically saying here is if you've got an old habit, a habit that you're trying to break, what could you replace it with? So instead of saying, I'm not going to do X, say, I'm not going to do X, but instead I'm going to do Y. So for example, if you binge junk food after a long day at work because it relieves stress, what could you do that would still relieve stress, but would get you a healthier outcome? So going for a walk or doing some breath work when you get home, instead of just going straight for what you're used to, that bad habit, we're replacing it with a new habit. It's a pretty simple concept, but I find that adding the habits first is more empowering than doing the substitutions. That's why we're starting with the habit stacking and changing our environment and focusing on those things first. And then the second half of our challenge, we'll do more of this bad habit breaking. And then accountability, you guys are going to have accountability big time within this challenge, from myself, from the other participants. And our goal is to really celebrate ourselves and celebrate each other within the group. So if you're in the Facebook group, I'm going to ask, how did you do today? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you did your things. But also, if you have a moment to like some or even comment on some other people, it just feels really good to know that we're not alone in this. I think a lot of times when we're trying to add something new or adopt a lifestyle change, it can feel like a little lonely or a little isolating if you feel like everybody else is, doing all these other things that maybe are not setting their future self up for success. But the accountability is huge. And after our program is over, I'm going to share some different ways that you could continue your accountability, either with myself or, with other people in your community, so that you can keep up that accountability. Okay, I want to also share, I know not everybody is from this area, but here in Seattle and Washington, we have midwinter break coming up next week. And I designed this challenge with that in mind. So I had a lot of people say, no, I can't do this challenge now because of midwinter break. And I'm like, but you don't understand. Like, I did that on purpose because our habits, when they become part of who we are and not just what we do when we're being good, they go with us. And so when I'm on vacation, my fizz and my green shot goes with me, because why would I not? Like, it doesn't take anything to throw this in my suitcase. It makes me feel good. It's how I like to start my day. So why would I not do that? It's part of who I am. It's not just what I do, right? And same with fitness. Like one of my favorite things to do is when we go on different vacations is explore and go out for a run in new areas. So I have a lot of girlfriends who are like, you're crazy for working out on vacation. I'm like, what? That's just what I do. I love it. Right. So when it becomes part of your actual like identity, then it doesn't matter if you're on vacation or it's a holiday or you have kids sick, you're still going to do the things that are habitual parts, like ingrained parts of not just what you do, but who you are. So just keep that in mind as we go through. Maybe you don't have midwinter break, but you have a few other distractions. Distractions are a part of life. So know that they're going to happen. Also, I think I started this call with this: perfection is not achievable. It is unrealistic. It's not a thing, but progress is. So just know you're probably not going to do every 21 day exactly the way that you planned it. Maybe you've got a backup plan, like we were talking about, I think with Harsha and the rain. Like if it's raining, what could you do instead of walking the dog for 1.5 miles that would still get you closer to your goal and prove to yourself that you do what you say you're going to do, but you're giving yourself a little grace. You're giving yourself a second option, right? And then I think I mentioned this, but we'll see on the next call. So we're focusing on the next call, replacing those bad habits with good ones, how to make the new habits stick, and then next steps as well on your health journey. And before I open up for questions, I'm going to share. So the word is consistency. So I will ask, did you guys watch the replay or were you on for the live? And the word is consistency, that you will say that you did that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop my share and open up the floor for questions. This can be specific about your personal habits. This can be about the challenge. It can really be about anything we talked about tonight. Don't be shy. Tammy, you're muted.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I have a dog in here. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have any questions.
Other Tammy.
Oh, okay. Hi. Hi. Okay, so I got the new greens. Okay, can I go grab them? Because I have a question. So you know the regular greens in the container. And then the new ones that come in the packet, is it one or the other? So you pick one or the other each day.
Sure. If you have both, you could always go back and forth. What Tammy's talking about is Arbonne used to have a tub of greens and then 2 little stick packs that you would add together. Now it comes in 1 stick pack. So it's awesome. I love it. I think it tastes better. It's just easier to pack this also if you're like out for the day. So one or the other. It's totally up to you. And again, like this can be customizable to you. The idea is we're getting our greens instead of having to eat 35 different fruits and vegetables in the day and take a handful of pills for prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and somehow figure out how to get vegan collagen in your day, because most collagen is pig and cow parts ground up. Like it's great. But yeah, it's just either the stick pack or the green shot that we used to do. Yeah.
Okay. The new shot is amazing.
Yes, I love it. It tastes good.
I would say that one is better than the original.
I agree.
Okay, that's all I'd say. Good luck,
No
everybody. How do I do this now? Hold on.
Thank you for hanging out. Do you have any questions? I know you had questions before, so hopefully those have been cleared up, but if not, I'd love to hear. Leslie?
Hey, Joanne.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding this green smoothie. If we drink this, do we need to still take our vitamins and vitamin D, iron, apart from drinking this drink?
So I do supplement my vitamin D, especially if you're here in Seattle. We need it, right? Arbonne has a vitamin D spray that is actually sublingual, so you can actually just spray it under your tongue and it absorbs immediately. If you're like me, I can't stand taking pills. That's something that I would not get into a habit with. I mean, I have to take a pill once a day. It's teeny tiny, and that's about as much as I can do. So if I can drink something and enjoy the process, I actually look forward to it. Like it's part of my day and my routine. There is not vitamin D though in the greens pack. So you would
Okay.
probably do both. It's got a little iron, so we'd have to just take a look and see like what you're supplementing now and just make sure that you're getting enough.
And also, do we have to take this like an empty stomach, or we can take it anytime during the
Anytime.
day?
Yep, anytime. I took it last night at 9:30. Sometimes I take it in the morning. Yeah, so and that actually is part of my intentions personally with this is I'm trying to find where I can stack it during my day because I have a morning cocktail that I don't ever miss. And that's my fizz and my mind health. And I just love that. It helps me feel like awake and focused to teach my classes and get my kids out the door and all the things. That's my morning. So I'm trying to really
Mhm.
adopt the afternoon for the greens, but sometimes it's before bed just because that's when I got it in for the day.
Okay. And for the habits to choose, can we start with the very small habits like
Yes.
30 squats a day and reading for 10 minutes?
Perfect. That's the idea. The idea is to start small. A lot of times what we do is we come out of the gate and we're like, I'm going to change everything and I'm going to make this huge change, right? And a lot of times we get discouraged because we can't do that consistently. It's really hard to make changes. It really is, especially when we get older, we get set in our ways. We are creatures of habit. We tend to do the same things day in and day out. So adding something new often feels like a big step, especially when we're distracted and we're doing 10 other things during the day.
Mhm.
So starting small is the key. And that's why I really encourage you guys, just pick two. Okay. So if you're not doing squats and shots, maybe you're journaling, maybe you're setting a timer every day to focus on gratitude. You know, there are lots of different things that you can do to set your future self up for success with fitness, nutrition, mindset that don't require a lot of time. Like I said, I think 3 minutes tops to do 30 squats, make a green shot and drink it. Like it really doesn't have to be. But what you're doing is 3 minutes a day times 21 days. Look how much progress you've made than if you didn't start. And what I find is that a lot of times when we don't start, we're stuck in that negative feedback loop. Look at you. You said you were going to start again on Monday to go to the gym, or you said you're going to eat healthy, but look at you. You didn't do it again. And you always look to prove yourself right. So if you're stuck in that negative feedback loop, then you're going to be like,
Mm.
see, I did it again. I didn't show up for myself. I said I would, and I didn't do it. So that's why we start really small, because you can do these. And especially if you have some support, some accountability, some guidance, then you're like, well, look at that. I did it for 3 days. That means I can do it for another 3 days and another 3 days. So you're proving to yourself that you do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, sounds good. And also, I have a suggestion. Can we make some group, like a message group or a WhatsApp group for the accountability? Because going on a Facebook, or we miss a few things on a Facebook.
Yeah, make sure. So I am committed to doing the Facebook group. That is what I have found works well for me. I will also make sure you guys have my text so that if you would prefer to communicate there as well. But I'm not going to manage two groups. You could put it up in the group though and say, would anybody else like to do, WhatsApp or some other
Mm-hmm.
form? And that's totally fine with me. But this is what I can commit to right
Okay.
now.
No
Boundaries,
worries.
right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're good. Amy or Harsha, anybody else got questions? Nope. Okay. All right. Especially Leslie, since we've never met and you saw me just be crazy earlier, I appreciate you. Thank you for trusting Tammy and hopping on anyway. You guys, anyway, I'll share later what. Lots of crazy stuff going on in my house, but all good. And I am so glad that we were able to connect and see each other face to face. And I will see you guys on our second call, which again, I will put a little poll up so we can decide what time works well. And I promise not to mess up the time next time.
Great, thank you.
Let's
Thanks,
do it.
man. It was really helpful.
Good. I'm so glad. Take care, you guys.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a
Tammy,
good night, everyone.
too.